I think this is a question a lot of coaches and trainers face daily during programming, but this one's more specific. A 45-year-old perimenopausal client can only strength train twice per week. So plus Zumba 1.5 times weekly would be this particular person's routine. Should those sessions be purely heavy lifting, or is there value in dedicating time to functional training and plyometrics? I'm kind of touching on it a little bit, but this in a specific case.
Yeah. So if you can only meet with your client twice a week, then you want to scope it to be able to hit the plan. So if you're having the plan of like heavy lifting, then maybe you're spending the first 30 minutes working on the squat function. And that's the main bulk of the session. But before that, you're warming up with mobility work, balance, trying to activate all the muscles, get all of that kind of prep work done through functional movement. And then you can finish with some plyo work or some sprint work. So you can hit all of it in one session, but the focus of the session is the heavy lifting, but you're bookending it with some of the functionality balance. It keeps it fresh for the client, and it also maximizes the time as well as helps progress so many different avenues of that one fitness component.
Awesome. Great answer. So I don't think you and I talked about this a lot, but for senior training, so this is for women, 15 to 20 years plus postmenopausal. So in this particular case, like age 80 to 85 or over, what rep ranges should we prioritize in group setting? So any specific considerations for this particular population?
So this is an exciting question because of an article that came out yesterday. Very excited about heavy loads, low rep versus our lighter loads, higher reps. And one of the problems we have, one of the issues with older population are joint and mobility problems, as well as bone density. So they're looking at what's the best rep range to improve muscle quality and function, as well as bone health. And they found that the heavier loads and lower rep range helped with the strength, the quality of the muscle, the proprioception, and bone density. But for people who had joint issues, they would still benefit from the higher rep range, just not as much. So if we're looking at a group setting, it depends on what kind of class you're doing, right? We want to encourage heavier loads for the older population. We have to phase them in. We have to make sure they're not going to get injured. So I know from my passive teaching in the gyms and things, it's like you're going to have a core group that comes and they're going to be consistent. It's part of the social constructs. It's part of, this is my 9:30 class and I love the instructor and there's great vibe. You can take that core group and progress them, but you're always going to have modifications. So if someone else comes in and not part of that core group, then you drop it. Right? You're like, okay, we're going to still do the same rep range, but maybe instead of heavier weights, we're going to add a band to the lighter weights. So you get some progression through it, but you're not putting the really heavy load on the joint. You're just adding some more resistance to what they're doing. So they could stand on a resistance band and wrap it over the dumbbells while they're doing some curls or overheads. Or maybe they're just using the resistance band as increased resistance. So there's ways to modify within that group setting. But the idea really is the heavier that we can get the load, we see now from really cool research that's coming out, the better it benefits all of the lean mass aspects that we need to develop in the older population.